Thank you to PetFlow for supporting today's episode. Regardless of the size of your dog, you're gonna have to get them everything they need, like their food and their supplies. And there's no more convenient way to get those things than through PetFlow, especially food. You pick out your dog's favorite food one time, and then you tell PetFlow to ship it to you every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever you prefer. Enter code ZACH30 when you check out. You'll get $10 off your first 3 orders. I'm gonna have a special link and that code in the description. Click thumbs up for Pepper, the 2 to 3 year old rescue dog. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and pick up a copy of my #1 best-selling book. I'll have a link in the description. It's a fair question. Is teaching a smaller dog or a bigger dog easier or harder? Or does it matter? In today's video, I'm gonna show you some of the differences when working with a bigger dog versus a smaller dog on things like the basics, tricks, and even some of the most common behavior problems. First, understand that teaching small dogs versus big dogs is a lot more similar than it is different. And just because you have a small dog, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be lower maintenance. Remember, a dog's energy level, not their size and not their breed, is probably the most important factor that you need to consider when raising them. Pepper's energy level is around a 1.5 out of 3. She's relatively low energy, but she has bursts of energy here and there throughout the day, and that tells me where I need to start with her training. Teaching many small dogs to lie down is a bit different than teaching larger dogs to lie down. Maybe that's because they're already so close to the ground that they just don't see the point. See, this is how I usually lure dogs into a down, but many small dogs, and even some big dogs, don't naturally follow the lure this way. So here's a few tips if your dog is like this. Go slow. See, when you're new to teaching dogs, the most intuitive way to lure a dog into a down is to hold the treat up and go real fast like that, and then hope that they go into the down. But you can see that's not really having much of an effect with Pepper here. But Pepper doesn't eagerly follow the lure into the down position, even when you do go slowly. So if that's you, try luring them in different directions like this. There you can see she's like, I don't really want to lie down, but I want that chicken, so I'm just gonna keep it there, just like a magnet attached to her nose. I'm just releasing tiny little bits of chicken here with my index finger and my thumb as she stays with it. She's not quite into a down. You can see this isn't yet on the ground, this part of her leg. I'm gonna, yes, I'll take that. Lie down. I'm gonna give her a little extra while she's there just to really reinforce that I like that she's down here. You can go through their front legs. Sometimes that helps, especially with smaller dogs. That was a great example right there. You saw her just kind of fall into the down. I'm not too concerned whether it's accidental or not, because the bottom line is that they achieved the position and you want to be there to acknowledge that you like that they're in that position. But even if you have a bigger dog who's reluctant to follow a lure or not quite going all the way into a down, you can still use this method too. That is the art of the lure right there. Lie down. Good job, you. You're perfect. This can often take several training sessions, so don't be discouraged if your dog doesn't pop into a down on your first few attempts. Just keep experimenting to find out what works for your dog. And remember, being a good teacher requires you to be flexible and spontaneous regardless of which size they are. All dogs should learn tricks. I mean, it's good for mental stimulation, plus it builds the communication between you and your dog. But here's a trick that I really enjoy teaching to small dogs a lot of the time. Let's see if we can get Pepper to stand on her hind legs. Look at that, stand, good. She's kind of using her paws to balance. That's a start, that's good. And I'm just letting her nibble just the tiniest little bits as I go to really keep her interest. Let me see if I can get her to not hold on to my hand here. Look at that. Oh, good job. She only stood for a second, but that is exactly where you need to start. Now that we have momentum, let's see if we can get it again. Look at that. Oh, good work. So now that she's getting the hang of stand, let's see if we can encourage her to take a step forward. Oh, she went backwards. I'll take that. Sometimes it's more natural for a dog to walk backwards on their hinds than it is forward. Look at that, forward. Good job. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try not to get so excited when I work with her because she's a bit more sensitive. Whereas if I was working with a crazy high energy lab here, I'd be acting ridiculous. That's 2 steps. I'm rewarding her for that. Come on, give me another one. Yes, you little circus dog, you're awesome. And it can take your dog a little while to build up the muscle memory to do this for more sustained periods of time, so be patient. So what about just listening in general? I mean, lots of people tend to tolerate things from smaller dogs that they might not with larger dogs, like jumping on guests or pulling on a leash. But is that okay? It's easier to control or ignore a smaller dog when you have to, and strangers are usually less intimidated by smaller dogs. And it really is easy to pick up a small dog when they start misbehaving. Just know that training a small dog to do things like walk nicely on a leash, not jump on guests, or stop barking is really the same as teaching a larger dog. So you should feel liberated to teach your pup these things no matter what size they are. Everybody loves a well-behaved dog. Click thumbs up for Pepper if you think she did a good job. Set up automatic pet food delivery with PetFlow. I'll have the special link and the code in the description. Subscribe to my channel, and special thanks to our amazing patrons on Patreon. Thanks to you guys, we can continue to make videos just like this. Pepper, you're amazing. You did a great job today.